Howdy, you two. We're here with PaPaSea. Recently got into this beating Pokemon games how they're intended based on the strategy guides. I watched like 3 or 4, but he has a bunch. Like right here, he has 2 on Heart Gold, Soul Silver. I'm guessing 2 very different strategy guides he's using. I don't know. I collect like the Prima ones, or if there's like an official one somehow. I like those. But let's see what he has to say. I have not watched Gen 2 because I'm really excited. It's my favorite Gen. This is Gold Silver. This is Hard Gold Soul Silver. That's why. Okay. I did not read that. My brain is not functioning correctly. For some reason, I'm really hungry. So let's go through this. PaPaSea. We're going to pre-give it a like because I'm loving these videos. It's bringing me a lot of nostalgia. I'm into it. Beating Pokemon Gold and Silver, how Nintendo intended. And if you like the video, catch me on twitch.tv/InvalidJolly. I do reaction videos at every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, and I'm going to be starting Pokemon X or Y, I haven't decided yet, to prepare for Pokemon ZA, which I will be playing when it comes out.
Silver released in Japan on November 21st, 1999, and in the following years, the rest of the world would also see the release of these games. Since these are one of the older Pokemon games, chances are if you stumbled across this video,
oldies but goodies, oldies but goldies, silver and goldies.
Or at least know the general idea on how
he's doing silver.
But have you ever played through Pokemon Gold and Silver exactly how Nintendo intended it to be?
No.
I have this super shiny...
I don't want to be spoiled with any... Oh, that looks pretty. I want that. EB... I feel like I've seen this before. I want that guide. I want that guide, guys. That is so shiny. Oh my god. Is it a shiny version of a guide like a Pokemon? But yeah, I collect guides. I don't have a lot because it's hard to find some in actually decent condition from old days. But I have some Pokemon ones, Borderlands ones. I think I have a Zelda Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask. I don't know which one. I never played Majora's Mask and only played Ocarina of Time once. I didn't enjoy it very much. And I think I have... not Saints Row. I think I have a Mass Effect. I definitely have a Fable 2 one over there. I like guides, man. I don't know. I love the art. I love all the little additions. You can see the personality in some of them. Some of them I don't like because they're just too stuffy. They don't have any fun with it. But some of them, they just throw in so much personality. I love it. And like the old school art, especially on like the Pokemon ones, where you can tell it's the original artist doing it. Beautiful.
Official Gold and Silver,
but I don't want anything spoiled. That's why I don't want to do it while I'm playing.
Well, actually, apparently it's Prima, as I learned from the comments of By Fire Red as Nintended video. But
you call it whatever you want, man.
YouTuber, do you really expect me to know how to read? All I know how to do is pull
Reading's
up these YouTube
hard.
analytics pages that say over 90% of people who watch my videos are cool cats.
Guys, be a cooler cat and give him and me a sub. Also, go ahead and give me a like and comment down below what your favorite Pokemon game was. Apparently, YouTube changed the rules, so they don't like it whenever you don't engage, so they don't want to count you as a viewer for some... I don't understand it, but please help a small channel out.
Cats, but only about 10% of people who watch my videos are even cooler cats. And we all know that YouTube analytics never lie. So let's take a look at this.
Never. They would not do that to us. YouTube loves us.
I noticed that the copy I have...
I want this. What is this? Is this a sheet?
Exclusive
I want this sheet.
I believe is the Canadian one. A store that I haven't even seen in about 15 years or so.
Yeah, Electronics Boutique is so old. It's where I used to buy my Magic the Gathering cards. That is old.
And we have a sealed secrets section, whatever that means.
Yeah,
I look at the
I
back
don't know.
of the guide,
I've never seen one.
the sealed secrets section, and notice that I can pull open some of these pages to see more secrets and more pages, although they are a little hard to rip open. One of them tells me about colored Pokemon, very poor choice of words there, which are shiny Pokemon.
Canceled.
I managed to catch 10 colored Pokemon while making this guide, which is pretty impressive, especially since one of them was Lugia. There was a berry page in the back as well, and look, surprisingly it's completely intact this time and not cut out. At the start of the guide, it tells me how to use the guide, although all it really does is tell me how Gold and Silver are loose equals to Red and Blue, there's now a day-night cycle as well as some other new features upon Red and Blue in these games, and that I should refer to the quick and dirty path for a brief walkthrough of these games' events. The what now?
Yeah, what? What does that even mean? Also, I remember Gold and Silver coming out. Oh god, it was the first one I bought with my own money. It was so good. It was so peak, man. Like, I was waking up early on school days to try and make sure I caught something that I would not be able to catch by the time I got to school because it would be too late. I think it might have been Teddy Ursa ish, like early in the morning or something. I don't remember what it was. It was very, very, very early in the routes. And sometimes I would be at school, like I think during daylight. No, was it? I don't know. I remember at some point in school, like early in the school day, I could still do it. So it was like under my desk trying to find one on my Game Boy. Oh, remember when you had time like that? And nostalgia. That's how they get you, man. And it gets me. That's how they got me into Heart Gold Soul Silver, because it was my favorite gen, and I wanted to feel that again. And you know what? I did. It was such good remakes.
On the next page is where we can finally begin our journey, as the guide tells us how to play Pokemon Gold and Silver. Now, if you're new to this series, welcome by the way. Hope you guys enjoy these videos and stay a while. In these videos, I follow the guide
And have been.
exactly how it tells
Subscribe,
me to in
guys.
order to beat the game, and try my best to avoid any prior knowledge I have on these games or Pokemon as a whole, as I've played through every single main series Pokemon game multiple times at this point. I decided to play Silver version as well, since that's the version I first got when I was a kid, and come on,
Gold was
Lugia
mine.
is just way cooler than Ho-Oh, and you know it. So now it's time to start up a new copy in Pokemon.
Cool in different ways. They're cool in different ways. The only way Lugia has ever been cooler than Ho-Oh, Shadow Lugia. Shadow Lugia trumps everything they've ever made.
Silver and beat it exactly as Nintended.
I don't know who he's talking about, but I'm feeling that jerk is going to end up not with us anymore eventually if they keep it up.
The getting started part of this guide
Your
tells me
name.
my character, set the clock, then go see Professor Elm to pick my starter Pokemon. With the other two guides I did videos on like this, they told me just to pick the starter that I like the most. However, this guide actually breaks down each starter a little bit more. For Totodile, it
nice.
says, the water type...
Some of them do not give you enough detail on anything that's happening, and it's frankly incredibly annoying. I'm going to speed this up. We got a lot of videos to get through today. I could use more detail. Like when I'm a child and I'm trying to get through this, I would love to know exactly what their strengths and weaknesses are. Like nowadays, I already know. And if there's something that I don't remember the type of because it's new and I haven't had enough time with it, and I can't be bothered to remember every single Pokemon of the game at this point, I'm not going to care. I'm going to hit it with an Ice Beam or a neutral, normal type attack. Because there's always going to be at least one normal on my team, except in X and Y, where my entire team somehow ended up being normal type Pokemon, because they threw so many at me in the beginning that I liked, that most of my team was normal type throughout the entire game.
Pokemon is a good all-around choice for a starting Pokemon. Its greatest strength is its HM flexibility. Of the three starting Pokemon,
Okay, that's very specific.
It has no weakness against Pokemon you encounter at the beginning part of the game. This is a great starting Pokemon for any player. A lot of this is actually true. Although Totodile does struggle against the Bellsprouts in the Sprout Tower, which appear very early on in the game, it's
Not
still
important,
a pretty
not
solid
important.
option. For Cyndaquil, it
You pick
reads,
up multiple
known for its
things by
fiery
then.
quills.
You pick up a Bug by then, easy. You either get Weedle if you're in Silver, or Caterpie if you're in Gold, which I always get Caterpie because Butterfree is a very strong player, and especially against Team Rocket with all their poison types. Butterfree carries me through the entire game, and it will carry you through Sprout Tower. Plus, it's really good for catching Pokemon because it learns Stun Spore, Sleep Powder, Poison Powder if you need to use it for fighting types. You know where it really comes in handy? Whitney. You think it'd be weak against Whitney, but guess what? Sleep Powder stops rollout. Paralyze stops rollout. Poison, and then just switch out and it'll stop it. It's not a big deal. Butterfree can really gimp Whitney. No big deal. Also, bring it against the ghosts against Morty in the next gym. Confusion. It has confusion by the time it hits 10 with becoming Butterfree. It learns confusion. It's good against so many things. You'd be surprised.
This fire type is the strongest of the three starting Pokemon. In fact, you can make it through most of the game on the strength...
I always pick this one, but only because I picked Charmander whenever I went through Pokemon, like the first generation, Pokemon Red. I was like, okay, well, let's do the fire starter. And that started a trend of me always picking the fire starter in every game up until Sun and Moon, where Primarina I immediately fell in love with. Torchic with Blaziken was my favorite starter up until Up until X and Y, where Delphox became my favorite starter. And then Primarina immediately replaced it because I don't know. I just fell in love with that little circus seal mermaid thing. It was so cute.
This Pokemon alone. Its final form, Typhlosion, is extremely powerful. Choose Cyndaquil if you're playing Silver version, and your Typhlosion and Lugia will take on the Elite Four easily.
Nice!
Cyndaquil is the
Great
best choice for
suggestion.
new players who want to speed through the game. And then finally, there's Chikorita, which I think the guide has the best description for out of any of these type
can't
Pokemon.
wait, can't wait.
It says, a grass-type Pokemon with girlish looks.
Why even
Chikorita
bring
is
that
the
up?
most challenging of the starting Pokemon. It's not particularly strong against any of the Pokemon you'll encounter in the first part of the game.
Let's see. Okay, weak against flying, yeah. Weak against bug, yeah. Not incredibly helpful against Whitney. Does it learn any moves that can hamper Miltank? The ghost types, I think they also have poison moves. I know they are poison, which is weird that he doesn't have a Mischievous in the game, that they introduced the ghost type Mischievous, which is so freaking stupid. Then it's not really going to help you against the fighting types, except Poliwrath. It's not going to help you against Steel. I mean, I know that they're part ground and electric, but it's not going to hit that hard with Steel. Because I think at this point, grass is grass physical or special at this point? Because I know that it's before the physical special split, which kind of sucks. I wish they had done that earlier, but honestly, the fact that most of the games at this point have it, it's great. It's not good. Like, it's good against the ice type gym, but that's because it's mostly water. It's bad. It's not going to be good against the drag. Yeah, it's not good against anything. Wow.
In fact, it's extremely weak against most of the gym Pokemon.
I never use it. I think I used it once because I wanted to try it out. It was definitely not good. It did not come in handy, except for maybe catching Pokemon, because it does, I believe, get the powders to like put things to sleep and stuff. But that's like a typical grass thing, and really, I missed Butterfree being able to do that because it's so much faster.
Spend a lot of time leveling it up and building a team of support Pokemon. Chikorita is recommended for experienced Pokemon trainers or players who want a challenge. I love how the guide pretty much just says that Chikorita is trash and heavily implies that newer players, like me technically, should pick Cyndaquil. I pick Cyndaquil of course since the guide says it's the best one, and name it Subscribble. I also notice a tip on the same page that tells me about the Nintendo of America testers and what team they use while playing through Gold and Silver.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
Typhlosion.
Okay, let's see. Third form of Cyndaquil. Great. They specified what that was so people would know. Hey, do this. Okay, Lugia. I don't use legendaries, but I get it. Ampharos. I always pick up a Mareep. Every single time I pick up a Mareep. And Graveler Golem. Let's see. Graveler Golem. Like, the only thing I think that would replace that would be maybe a Don fan, because I like Don fan. This is my personal preference. And third forms of Geodude. Okay, they specified that too. I like that. I like that detail they're going into with this guide. To get through the game quickly, consider using this sort of team if you're looking to do the same. Remember, you must be playing the silver version to get Lugia. Oh, dude! Okay, whoever wrote this did a great job.
Lugia, Ampharos, and Graveler/Golem. Only 4 Pokemon, but it should give us a good outline for what our team should look like. The following few pages then tell me some
Honestly,
more basics
lots of
about
good
Pokemon,
coverage
like how to
there.
catch Pokemon,
And a legendary, so you really don't actually have to do a whole lot.
various type advantages and disadvantages,
And it can
stuff
learn
like
fly,
that.
so you
It
got a
also
flyer.
tells me to look out for the new baby Pokemon introduced.
Okay, controversial thought. Baby Pokemon suck, and I hate them. No offense. They just make everyone worse. Because especially Jinx, who is one of my top 10 favorite Pokemon, Jinx is made much, much worse by Smoochum existing. Because then for the first, 20, 30 levels, you can't have a Jinx. You have this weak garbage baby Pokemon. No. Because by the time you evolve it, it's not going to get the stat boost it needs to be, viable that late in the game. And you need to work on it. And I don't like that. Just give me get rid of the baby Pokemon. I hate that. And Tyrogue, so stupid. It's so stupid. I don't like it. You have to micromanage its stats to get the lead that you want later on. The hits. I assume you're going for Hitmonlee. Hitmonchan's good, but Hitmonlee is arguably better. Hitmontop is It was unnecessary. And also you have to figure out how to get it balanced in attack and defense to get a hit on top. It's so stupid. But yeah, baby Pokemon make all the Pokemon that they're babies for much worse. There was no point to them other than them just being cute.
In these games, although some of them, like Magby for example, it just shows a question mark for the image instead of showing the actual Magby image. Apparently this guide was made before Pokemon Gold and Silver were officially released in North America, and they didn't have access to the images of every Pokemon and probably didn't know where to find them in the game in order to take a screenshot of them, although they were able to take screenshots of the shiny Pokemon somehow.
Well, they're babies, they know where to get them.
Section, like
eggs. Like they knew where to get the baby's eggs.
this one part that explains the various Hitmon evolutions and called Tyrone.
Yes, I will give you Togepi because it existed with its evolutions. It is a first form. It is not a baby. It is a first form Pokemon because it started with its evolution. So it's fine. Togepi gets a pass. Also, it's cute and it goes ticky ticky and it does a metronome. It's got metronome. My favorite move.
Tyrone, and is also missing the image for Tyro. I eventually make it back to the gameplay part of the guide, and on Route 29 the guide tells me how Sentrits only appear at the daytime, and that it's a squirrel-like Pokemon. Maybe this is me just nitpicking a little bit, but Sentret is a ferret, not a squirrel, which you can tell from the name Sentret as well as from the name of its evolution Furret, but it also says how Hoot Hoots only appear at night, and spells night N-I-T-E.
That's
There's
weird.
Some parts of the guide where they spell night correctly
Why?
with the G.
Why does it spell night like that?
Spelled without the G, and I don't understand why. The rest of the first mission is pretty straightforward. I talk to Mr. Pokemon and Professor Oak, fight my rival on my way back to the Pokemon Lab, and make sure my Cynical is at least level 6 like the guide suggests, then get to the lab and name my rival Ren since he kinda looks like Ren from Cardfight Vanguard. I also caught a Geodude on Route 46 since the guide did tell me they appear there and also tell me that Nintendo testers use them and I should look into them.
It's smart to go get that, especially with the bird gym and then the bug gym coming up. And then it will also help against Whitney because defense.
As well, and I named the Geodude Fiona. Now we have to head over to Violet City and take care of some events over there. The first thing I noticed, which also happens later in the guide, is that it has some things in a weird order. Like it would tell me to go to the Bellsprout Tower first, but then have more information about the Bellsprout Tower after the detailed part about the first gym. I go into the Bellsprout Tower first anyway, and go through it pretty easily thanks to my
I mean, why wouldn't you go to the Bellsprout? Are you not supposed to go to the Bellsprout Tower first? I go through it first. Are you not supposed to? I thought you were supposed to, get some levels off with all those Bellsprouts and the Hoot Hoots. Why wouldn't you? I don't.
And Geodude a little bit around this
I don't
time.
understand.
I get to the top, my Cynical evolves into Quilava, and I see my rival talking to the Sage. The guide mentions how my rival receives a scolding and asks if I could do better, which I think I do since I end up defeating the Sage, get the HM for Flash, and head out to prepare to fight the first gym leader. I also started to read a little bit ahead in this guide, which I didn't do too much in the previous videos like this, so I can better prepare myself for each important fight. The guide mentions how Chikorita fans, all like 6 of them, will struggle against the first gym.
That's so mean. Why would you do that? Well, I guess we're gonna figure out who's a Chikorita fan whenever ZA comes out.
And spends about half the section saying how bad Chikorita is here. It says that
dude hates Chikorita.
Not too much of a problem, but also recommends that I level up a Geodude to run level 11 so it can learn Rock Throw. So I do that anyway and get through this gym very easily. I head down to Route 32.
Yeah, I bring. Let's see. Geodude is smart, but I usually use my Cyndaquil or my Butterfree. I know you shouldn't bring a bug against flying types, but also I don't care. Butterfree is OP in my heart, and I will use what I like versus what's the best idea for it. And that's why I know how to use the ones that I like to do things you're not supposed to do with them.
The guide tells me about 3 new Pokemon I can find on this route, being Mareep, Wooper, and Hoppip. For some reason, it has detailed sections about
Mareep. I always get Mareep. I don't care. I always get Mareep. It is so cute. Even if I replace it later, I want the Mareep and the Flaffy and the Ampharos to eventually have. Because they are great Pokemon. They are cute. They are found early. Unfortunately, right after the Flying Gym. That kind of sucked. But still, they'll help you in the game. They are very strong too.
Mareep and Wooper, but
also Wooper's really good defensively. If you didn't pick the water starter and you're not sure if you're going to grab a water type during the game somewhere, this one's a really good one, especially since it has the immunity to electricity. This is a great water Pokemon to have. And as you can see, it gets Earthquake naturally, as well as Amnesia for special defense. So bulky. So bulky.
Not Hoppip on this page, and it says it'll have more information about Hoppip on the section on Route 39, and I go to the section on Route 39, and all it has is a picture of Hoppip and no other information.
What information do you need about Hoppip? It's grass flying, and that's all that you need to know about it. Because everything else is, it sucks, it's not good. I mean, you can do something with it. I have a competitive build for freaking, what is it, Jump Luff? Hoppip, Skiploom? Yeah, Jump Luff. I have a competitive build for Jump Luff. All I remember is acrobatics. I think I have something to hinder other Pokemon. I'd have to look it up. I do not know. Let's see. I think my competitive... Oh, yeah, my competitive Jump Luff is currently in Pokemon Home. I don't know if I can look up moves and stuff with it, though.
About it. I figure I should catch either Mareep or Wooper though, since they're both pretty decent types that I don't have, and since I was playing in the daytime and Wooper only appears at nighttime while I was recording this portion, I catch a Mareep. And it also happens that Mareep
you could stick around.
Nintendo testers use when they play through these games.
Make a decision.
Well, that's because it's a great Pokemon. But if I had to choose between Mareep and Wooper, I'd pick
I was
Mareep.
going to name the Mareep Floof, but I thought that was a bit too basic since it's a really common nickname for Mareep. Then considered naming it Butter, but then I just decided to change
Why
out the suggestion
Butter?
for a nickname and just go with whoever the first person replied with went with. And of course, the very first response I got on the tweet was somebody wanting me to name it Floof, the most generic nickname for a Mareep. Pokemon 7 Plays wanted me to name it Butter, which just shows how cool he is. Before I head into the
Good for him,
I really
good for
got
him,
a
good for
small
him.
part about the
Butter's a
Pokemon
cuter
app,
name
but
than
I skipped
Floof.
it by accident and didn't even realize it until now, but luckily it is an optional area. I finally make it over to Azalea Town right now.
Oh,
and
you
the
don't
first
need
thing I
anything in
have
the
to do
Alpha
is-
Ruins. It's okay. You're not going to miss anything. I mean, you don't get an unknown. You can't come... There's nothing really good here until you can surf and get Xatu. Why is my Switch thing not working? Okay, sorry. I'm trying to look up the Jump Luff. That about to call it Skiploom. But yeah, the only thing I'd get in the rooms of Alpha and like I would actually use is Smirgle, because it could be really good if you know what you're doing with Smirgle, and it's fantastic for catching Pokemon.
Help Kurt take on Team Rocket in the Slowpoke well.
Slowpoke well, let's freaking go. Slowpoke, that's my boy. He got his own well. I love him. Look how sleepy that boy is. Look at it. You know what? Just for this, boom, Slowpoke. You get the Slowpoke.
Which I do pretty easily since my team
The
actually
legally
does very
distinct
well
not
against Pokemon I
Slowpoke,
come
sorry.
across. Now I get ready to head to Bugsy's gym where the guide recommends fire, rock, and water. The first two make sense, and luckily I have a Pokemon of each of those types, but I don't really understand where the water part comes in here as none of his Pokemon are weak to water. I consider catching a Slowpoke though to get a water type, but figure it really isn't worth leveling up as of right now, especially since I already have 2 of the 3 recommended types for this gym.
Okay, this is what my competitive Jump Luff has. Sorry, I had to pull this up. It has Swords Dance, Acrobatics, already nasty. It has Bullet Seed and Sleep Powder. Obviously, you Sleep Powder, Swords Dance a couple times, and then Acrobatics or Bullet Seed. And it has a Flying Gym. No, is it have a flying? I think it has a Flying Gym. Well, it's supposed to have a Flying Gym, but it's in home now, so it's not carrying anything. But it has something that that boosts a Flying type move once, and you use it. Wait, does it? And then Acrobatics does more damage because you're not holding anything. But you can hold on to it if you need to use Bullet Seed anyway. It's bold with Infiltrator. Obviously, it's EV trained in attack and speed. Obviously. Okay, I'm going to leave this open in case I need it.
With Bugsy goes very smoothly, although I did teach Flash to my Mareep to lower Scyther's accuracy, which the guide suggests if you have trouble with the Scyther.
Yeah, I have a
And
competitive Pokemon of like almost every single species, and I have multiple because I don't like battling, but I love making competitive Pokemon, especially if I can come up with like a ridiculous build that's a lot of fun.
I suggest that you do that if you pick Chikorita, since, again, you would struggle against this gym as well if you pick Chikorita. But I flashed the Scyther a few times anyway before laying waste to his Intrepid team with my Fire type. Next, we have to do another rival battle, which the guide says is one of the most critical rival battles in the whole game. I lead with Fiona.
Okay, to be fair, it is. Because this one surprises you. Even if you played this game a million times, most people always forget about this. If you were playing a Nuzlocke, this is terrifying. Completely terrifying. Because you do not expect this. You do not see this coming. Even if you played it before, you are probably going to forget that this is going to happen, and it's going to suddenly happen, and you're going to freak the freak out.
Against his Ghastly and get annoyed
Because this is my favorite gym, and I always forget about this fight.
hypnosis, sleeps, and licks, but aside from that I hammer away and win this battle pretty easily. I have to say, this guide may have some things in a weird order which makes following it a little bit confusing, but overall it does a really good job of recommending Pokemon and strategies to use in battle, and I haven't really noticed too many mistakes when it came to battling suggestions. Now I have to go through the ELX Forest, and on the way I pick up the Charcoal and the TM for Headbutt like the guide recommends.
Always go for Headbutt. Always go for Headbutt. I take as many Pokemon that can learn it with me as possible, so I don't have to come back here, and I teach everyone Headbutt. It is a great early and kind of mid-game move. If you have fast Pokemon, you can like flinch stall so much. I love it. Always get Headbutt.
It also tells me how I can get Pineco from headbutting the tree, so I decided to try and catch one on my own.
No, once you get Headbutt, go right back to the town that you came from and get a Heracross. Heracross, really strong in this game. Bug and fighting, if you play it well, so good. Go and get it.
After about
Also, it's really good against Whitney because it's half fighting.
20 minutes or so of headbutting trees, I finally find one and get excited to catch it, just have it use self-destruct on me. I try and
You know where that wouldn't happen? Butterfree with Sleep Powder.
another, but I can't, so I just exit the ELX Forest and head to Route 34. I head through this route pretty easily, make it to Goldenrod City, the jewel of the Johto Crown as the guide calls it. There's quite a lot of things for us to do here, like get our bike first of all, check out the department.
And the great thing about Heracross in a Nuzlocke, there's no other Pokemon you can get. Well, that's not true. You can get another Pokemon drop out of the tree, but hope that whatever drops out of the tree is going to be the Heracross because it's so good.
Store, and on the 5th floor of the department store it says you can get a special TM depending on your Pokemon's affection rating, but only on Sundays. I happen to be playing this portion of the game on a Sunday, in fact.
Oh, that
but
worked
ladies
out
still
nice.
Didn't give me any TMs since my affection levels were low enough or high enough to get either of the TMs that she would give you. Being frustrated.
You want Return. Return is the one that you want. It'll get more powerful as you raise the affection of the Pokemon. Frustration is not one you want because that means that the thing hates you for it to be like decent to actually use.
Frustration or return. I explore the city a bit more anyway and come across this rather silly note on the page for the game corner, which reads, "The more money you spend, the better your chances of winning."
What?
Which isn't really
That's Gamba mentality. They are getting them early.
great advice to give to someone when it comes to gambling, but luckily it didn't turn me into a gambling addict when I was a kid playing through this game.
Oh, game corner. That's Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Voltorb Flip. I turn that game on. I can just spend hours playing Voltorb Flip. Just so much fun.
Next up, we have to take on Whitney, the leader of the 3rd gym, and arguably the most...
The slots a little harder to do, but Voltorb Flip is actually manageable by itself, where it's not so much gambling. Like there's a little bit of randomness to it, but if you're doing the math, which I know a lot of people don't want to do in a Pokemon game, but if you're doing the math, you can Voltorb Flip pretty easily.
Notorious gym leader in all of Pokemon. This guide warns me about her Miltank's rollout as well as her Pokemon going for a track, but luckily I have Fiona, who is a rock type, one of the guide's recommended types, and
Okay, Clefairy, Double Slap, Mimic, Encore, Metronome. You love Metronome. Roll out, Attract, Stomp, and Milk Drink. Yeah, it's just that's a nasty Miltank.
there's also a girl Geodude, meaning it can't be hit from a track from her Pokemon either. The gym goes by very smoothly, thankfully, and it makes you realize
Gold and Silver hates lesbians, guys.
just how good rock types are when playing through these games. The guide then has a few pages about Goldenrod Underground area, the radio tower, and another rival battle, which does confuse me a little bit since for the rival battle it says you'll have Pokemon in the 30s, which is a pretty high jump.
Yeah, that's not till much later. You probably didn't need to mention that right now because it's not going to happen for like 1, 2, 3, about the 4 gyms away after the hideout.
I'm coming off of Whitney's gym. Turns out that all of these events are for when you come back to Goldenrod City later on in the game, but it doesn't tell me straight away, and I don't understand why they didn't just
Well, you can go underground still. You can fight those. You can do that now.
hold this out for later. I proceed north
Also, if you want it down in the underground, there's 2 people who massage your Pokemon to increase their friendship to help you get the return TM.
to Route 35 anyway, then past the National Park, missing the bug catching contest since it isn't a Tuesday or Thursday, and I make it over to Route 37, which is a big connecting route in the Johto.
Love the National Park, not just because of the bug catching contest, but also that's where we get Sunkern. Sunflora is one of my 10 favorite Pokemon and one of the only 3 grass types I actually like.
Region, as it can lead us back to Violet City. The guy tells me about the Sudowoodo blocking my way and that I need to
Stantler, my boy! Boy, I can wreck someone with a Stantler. Not this Stantler, the moveset is not good. Later on, though, it learns a move that is so devastating. I love it.
Go back to Goldenrod to get the squirt bottle to make it move, which would have been a lot nicer to tell me before I got all the way here, but instead they dedicated a whole page to the game corner instead where you don't have to visit, instead of telling me just to pick up the squirt bottle after beating Whitney. I backtracked to go get the squirt bottle anyway and then come back and catch
that
a
stinks it
Sudowoodo,
didn't
maybe
tell
a
you.
Brock, and adding it to
Oh,
our team since it's
no.
level 20, which is pretty good. I get Rock Smash on this route as well for later, and since it was Sunday when I was playing this portion of the game still, I was able to get the magnet token, as the guide calls it.
Sonny gives you the magnet token. Why would he give you a magnet? Why'd you say token?
For some reason, and give it to Fluffy to boost its electric-type moves. I never realized how many daily events there are in Pokemon Gold and Silver, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it's so cool. They added a time event and they went crazy with it.
Now that I have this guide that points out pretty much all of them. Now we can finally make it to Ecruteak City, one of my favorite cities in all of Pokemon, with Morty, who is also one of my favorite gym leaders.
It's because of the geisha girls. You know it's because it's the geisha girls. He likes the geisha girls. It's not Morty. No one likes Morty.
First thing I do is heal and run into Bill, who then heads back to his house in Goldenrod City.
Immediately follow him and go get the Eevee. Immediately.
Which I then go to as well, since the guy tells me if I go meet him there,
Good, excellent.
he will give me an Eevee, which I name Eric. I'm unsure what I want to evolve this Eevee
Umbreon.
into yet, but I'll hold on to it for now.
I personally would have gone Espeon if I didn't get a Slowpoke and the Slowpoke well, but honestly, out of all of the evolutions at this point, Umbreon can do the most damage in the Elite Four. If you're doing a Nuzlocke and you get the Eevee, Umbreon.
Now back at Ecruteak City, the next thing we have to do is take on the Kimono Girl.
Also, Dark types are a lot harder to find in this game, despite existing. They're a lot harder.
In order to get the Surf HM, which
I don't know why they didn't add more Darks in here. It's ridiculous, but Umbreon is the choice, man.
Yeah, in order to get rather quickly.
Or, hear me out, there are Ditto next to the breeding place. Wait, I don't think you can actually breed Pokemon. I think it's just for leveling. I can't remember. Like, it should be for breeding, right? I haven't had to breed in an old Pokemon game in a very long time. Can you get all the evolutions? Okay, now I need to look that up.
I don't have a Pokemon that can learn Surf yet, unfortunately, but I can't use it outside of battle yet until I get the Fog Badge, so I'm not too worried about it right now. Now I have to take on Morty, the Ghost-type gym leader.
Today I may not see anyone by himself, he thinks. If I don't, that will be a...
The guy
I know what we're
recommends
talking about.
ground-type Pokemon and Psychic types for his team, and luckily Fiona is also part ground-type and has the move Magnitude, which will really help in this gym. I dispatch all of the trainers in the gym easily, and Fiona evolves to Graveler right before I'm about to fight Morty, which is great.
Oh, that
I
worked
get the
out.
Morty
That is such a nice one. You get that boost in rock-type attacks.
so easily with Fiona since all of his Pokemon are
Okay,
part
you
poison,
can
which is weak
breed
to Magnet.
Pokemon in Gold and Silver. So yeah, you can just get all the evolutions. Why do you need to choose? You don't need to choose. Have them all, baby.
Dude. When it comes to Morty being a Ghost-type trainer, I always thought it was weird how they added a Ghost-type gym leader into the Johto region, and then didn't give him Mystery Vis, the new Ghost-type Pokemon.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Why? Why did you do that? Why? Like, you added a ghost type and then didn't give the ghost type gym leader the ghost type you added in his... What?
Introduced in Gold and Silver. Now we have to go into the Burn Tower to fight our rival and also meet the...
Okay, my thought is, you know, like in the anime where Brock's like, hey, I'm going to give you this. How many badges you got? Okay, then I'm going to use this many Pokemon at this level. Maybe he had a Mischievous because you can't find it until after you beat the Elite Four. And also, for some reason, Kanto. You can't find it until after that. So it's such a high level, he doesn't want to use it against you because you only have 3 badges. That's the only thing I can think of.
3 legendary Pokemon hiding in the basement. After
I mean, he could have bred another one for, like, a lower level, but, like, I don't know. It's just a stupid decision on their part.
level up my Pokemon a little bit by battling all of the trainers on the following route, and then make it to Olivine City. The guy tells me to get the Super Rod and also tells me which water Pokemon I can catch nearby, so I do that and get a Magikarp and name it Mako since I know I'll need a water type eventually to use Surf. Luckily my Magikarp will evolve in only 1 more level since it's already level 20, although I completely forgot about how later in the game we get a Shiny Gyarados pretty easily.
Yeah. Just get the shiny Gyarados. I mean, you have to go through a couple more gyms before you can even get to there. But if you can get a Gyarados now, that'll help against the fighting type gym leader and possibly the steel because, you know, ground. I would not bring it out against the Magnemite. But, like, Steelix is half ground. So just throw some water at it, man.
And by the time I encounter it, it'll probably be a higher level than my current Gyarados. I pick up the HM for Strength and clear the Lighthouse next anyway.
We'll
but now
replace
I
the
finally
Gyarados
decide
with the
instead to pick up
Gyarados.
the medicine for the sick Ampharos in the Lighthouse and take on another gym leader. I teach Surf to my newly evolved Gyarados.
Did he hatch the egg the breeder people gave him? Or is that just hard gold, soul silver? I can't remember.
medicine from Signwood City, and then headed
We are going to find out soon, because after ZA, and probably Outer Worlds too, because it's going to come out like 2 weeks after ZA. So, that's going to be a thing. We're going to have to play both of those games at the same time if I don't finish ZA. Even if I do finish ZA, I'm sure there's like post-game stuff and catching all the Pokemon for the decks and whatnot. So we're going to be playing both of those games. But after I finish up with Outer Worlds 2 and probably ZA dies down some, I want to do a series where I actually heavily edit it for YouTube. You know, like actual cuts and stuff like that, and actual script and things, where I go through all the Pokemon gens. I was going to say games, but I don't want to do like red and blue and yellow. I'm going to pick one from that gen, and I'm also going to do fire red or leaf green. You know, that's basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick one from each generation release and do those in chronological order and call it the Trying to Fall in Love with Pokemon Again series, because I feel like ZA is probably going to fall into a lot of the same pitfalls the last few games have fallen into, and I'm going to do my best to enjoy it, but frankly, it's going to feel empty.
the Signwood City Gym, although I am a little bit underleveled now, as you can see from the levels in the guide compared to the levels of my team. This is the point of the game where the levels begin to jump, one of the biggest flaws in the entire game. Heading into this gym, the guide recommends I use Flying and Psychic type Pokemon, and I do have a Gyarados, which is technically part Flying type, although it doesn't have any Flying type moves. And I don't have any
Like I said, it's going to help with this gym.
Psychic Pokemon, unfortunately. I did pick up this Spearow from one of the guards, though, nicknamed Kenya, but it's too low of a level for me to use right now. And
Oh, he did pick up the Spearow. I was going to ask, did he pick up the Spearow? Because that would actually help. But it's also like half normal type, so it can go either way. Your best bet is the safety of Gyarados. Always nestle in the soft, delicious, beautiful blue arms that do not exist of the Gyarados. Magikarp is an incredibly underrated catch early on in the game. But as soon as you get the old rod, you catch a Magikarp and you train that sucker. Because Gyarados will bring you through the rest of the game. It doesn't matter what game you're playing. He is always so strong in every game he's in.
It's not worth me grinding it 20 plus levels just for this one gym fight. This is the first gym that I actually struggle with, as Chuck beats me the first time I challenge him, and I also found it funny and laughed out loud a little bit how right before the battle started, he threw this boulder, then immediately after that I heard the Fortnite default dance song playing, since that's my follow alert on Twitch, and somebody followed me while I was recording that part of the video, and I forgot to turn off the notification.
That's what this game needs. Fortnite music. Let's go.
Sounds. If you want to follow me on Twitch as well, I'll leave a link to it in the description, as I do.
Yeah, follow him on Twitch. Also follow me on Twitch. Follow us both. I'm pushing for 500 followers before my birthday, and there's giveaways and challenges and stuff I need to do for every 50 followers. So hop on in if you like what you see. I do reactions every Sunday.
I stream Pokemon sometimes.
Twitch.tv/InPlayTheJolly.
I'm considered streaming these Nintended playthroughs over there just to make it a little bit easier for me. Anyway, I head over to the gym again this time, and I save Flaffy to the end for his Poliwrath, and end up winning thanks to Flaffy as well as Eric, who tanked a hit while I was able to use a revive on my Flaffy. This part of the guide is also a bit confusing, since now I have to
Although it's going to ruin the friendship if you want Umbreon or Espeon.
backtrack again and go back a few pages, since the Jasmine fight is supposed to be after the Chuck fight, although I guess you could.
Oh, he just sacked him. Okay.
I then head back to Olivine City, give Ampharos the medicine, then go into Jasmine's gym to take her on. She has level 35 Steelix as her highest.
Okay, Magnemite. Yeah, I just remember Magnemite and Steelix, and then like Heart Gold Souls. Oh, she has 2 Magnemites. I thought it was her over here. Yeah, I was about to say, I thought she had 2 Magnemites, but it might just be Heart Gold Soul Silver. Yeah, Sonic Boom's not too terrible unless you have really low level Pokemon, then it's going to do a lot of damage. Because like it's based off of, I believe, her level, so she's going to do 30 damage every time she does it. I mean, it could be terrifying, especially when you bring something tanky in. But it's really not that bad because they're pretty weak.
Level, which is about 5 levels higher than my current level Pokemon and a few levels higher than Chuck's highest Pokemon. I noticed that I have a great type advantage against her team though, since I have a Fire type, a Ground type, and a Water type, all of which the guide recommends.
You just need the Ground type.
I took out her first Magnemite with Subscribble pretty easily, then in comes Steelix, which I weaken as much as possible with Embers until it falls, and then I send out my Gyarados, which is 11 levels under Steelix. I go for Surf, which does decent damage, but then Jasmine goes for
it's half ground.
IQ play, goes for Sunny Day,
Oh.
lowering the damage of my Water type moves to her Steelix.
Yeah, but like he's almost dead anyway.
Falls, but luckily I have Fiona, which ends up cleaning up Jasmine's team and continues to be the best Pokemon in my entire squad. Next, we have to head over towards Mahogany Town.
Yeah, I was about to say, Graveler would have done a great job against the entire thing. I don't know why you didn't just start with Graveler.
Probably grind up a couple of levels in between then, since my team is starting to look a little weak. I finally make it over to Mahogany Town, and the sections are really out of order over here. First, it has the gym battle against Price, which I can't do.
You're unlikely to have run into the mini ice Pokemon until now, so you have a lot to learn in a short period of time. Ice Pokemon on the whole are ice Pokemon on the whole are strong against other ice types and weak against fire or fighting. Neat.
Yet. Then the Team Rocket hideout battles, which I also can't do yet. Then on the following page, it has the Lake of Rage events, which is what we have to do first, despite it appearing last.
Okay, what is this? In the Lake of Rage, Gyarados are on the ramp. Yeah, okay. 2 is after you defeat the red Gyarados, you'll get the red scale. This item causes Lance and Cure. What is 2? Oh, that's Lance. What is 3 and 4? Is 4 the weekly guy? And I don't remember what 3 is. God, it's been a long time since I played.
Guide. I head into the Lake of Rage anyway to try and catch the red Gyarados and also get the red scale to get Lance to come visit. However, the Gyarados gets confused and ends up knocking itself out.
Oh,
dude, but at least I
you
already
didn't
have the
save
Gyarados of my
first?
own.
Come on, man.
I then take the red scale over to Mr. Pokemon.
Guys, always save. Always save. Not just for this. In the game in general. All games in general. Make sure you always save and have multiple saves so you have backups.
Like this tip in the guide suggests in order to get the EXP share, which I think will be perfect for Eric since I wanted to evolve into either Espeon or Umbreon, and it is quite a bit underleveled. I'm currently playing at nighttime as this is recording, so there's a good chance it'll evolve into Umbreon sometime today. Now I'm able to head into the Team Rocket's hideout under Mahogany Town with the help of Lance, and the guide instructs me to turn off the security cameras to stop the grunts from seeing me when I pass by the statue.
I don't. I use this time to raise a lower level Pokemon I have, or just flat out destroy everything with my Butterfree's Confusion to level it up further. I don't. I like the experience. Give me the experience.
Statues that have a hidden camera on them, forcing the grunts to come and try to battle me. I do this, but in hindsight, I probably should have just left the cameras on and battle as many grunts as I could for the XP since...
Yep, he gets it. I mean, he didn't do it, but he got it. He got there. He eventually caught up with us. And that's why I am the Pokemon Master.
I am a bit underleveled. The guide does make a compelling argument to turn the cameras off though, by showing this image of a grunt finding you in front of the statue with the caption saying, "Do you get the idea that walking in front of these statues is a bad thing?" I'm able to get through the rest
If you mean farming experience off of stupid trainers is a bad thing, then call me bad. I'm Jesse James.
of the hideout pretty easily thanks to Fiona, which continues to be the best Pokemon on my team, and I also get the HM for Waterfall, which we can use later. Now we have to get ready to fight
Or you can use it now on the Gyarados. Just saying.
Price, the 7th gym leader of the Johto region, where the guide recommends that we use electric, fire, steel, and...
Why? Why would you tell them to use fire? There was so much water on that. And also water. Hold on. It's telling you to use water against ice types. First of all, they're water, so it's not gonna do anything to them. Secondly, they're ice types. If anything, it's one of the worst things you could use against them, because it's gonna do a lot less damage. Steel and electric, yes. Fire, no. What? No. No. Bring in electric and steel. You're gonna be fine.
Water types hit all of his Pokemon super effective.
That's not how that works.
And I have all of those types except for Steel, so this is looking pretty good for us, and I expect...
Yeah, Steel is surprisingly annoying to get in the game, because I don't remember any easy to get Steel. Because like Steelix, you have to evolve an Onix, but you have to be able to trade with somebody to do that. And Magnemite, I don't remember where Magnemite even is. Where is Magnemite in this game? Huh. Where is Magnemite? I think the only steel type you'd have at this point would be Fortress, if you caught the Pineco.
the guide to mention...
And that in it by itself, if you didn't have a guide telling you to headbutt the trees, you probably wouldn't know to do that. And even then, you'd get a lot of hoot-hoot if it was night.
Something about how people who started with Chikorita might struggle here since it is an ice-type gym and Chikorita is weak to ice, but
Oh,
surprisingly,
he brought the he brought the hate back for Chikorita. Oh,
Chikorita fans for a little while now. Price's Pokemon are actually a lower level than the previous gym leader Jasmine's though, so I was...
yeah, that's because there's multiple gyms that are just like basically the same levels, because you hop from one to the next with not a lot between them. I mean, the biggest bit is between Morty and the fighting guy. I forget his name. But the fighting guy, and it's just because you have to surf all the way down there, and then you just fly back.
able to defeat him without grinding up my Pokemon like I initially thought I would be able to. It feels weird having 7 badges and not even a fully evolved starter Pokemon yet, but we're doing pretty well so far. As I exit the
If only you had used the Rocket Hideout to grind experience.
gym, I get a call from Professor Elm warning me about Team Rocket trying to take over the radio tower, so now we have to
Now is that fight against your rival from the underground we were talking about.
backtrack all the way back to Goldenrod to take care of them. The guide has this part about 30 pages back of where we currently are now, since for some reason it has all of the events in the town in the same section as where you first visit that town, despite
yeah.
this part appearing like
Oh,
much later
yep.
in the game. And I know I've said this a couple of times already, but I feel like this is the biggest flaw with this guide, where it has things in a weird order. I'm able to get through the first part of the radio tower pretty easily though, where I take on the fake director who tells me that the real director
He's not the real director.
is locked underground. I try and go underground to rescue them and see that it's
Guys, we're going deeper underground.
blocked by the rocket grunt still, and got confused here and thought I had to enter the underground from the basement of the department store. I also
I mean, that would be a fun way to do it.
found out that each time I entered the basement of the department store at this point, the boxes would actually shift around, give me access to different areas to get different items, but this doesn't take me to the rest of the underground area. I checked the goldenrod
But that's where the amulet coin is. You want that. Grab that. Since you're about to fight a whole lot of rocket grunts, grab that. Grab that now.
map quickly again to see if there's another entrance to the underground, and completely forgot that there's actually another entrance
Yeah, it's up north.
to the underground on the north side of the city, which Team Rocket isn't blocking for some reason, so I head on in there to rescue the director.
Well, maybe they didn't have the strategy guide like you did because you also didn't know that.
But first we have to have another rival battle at a pretty terrible time. Like, I'm trying to stop Team Rocket from literally taking
You know what would have been great here? Amulet coin to milk your rival for as much money as possible.
over the radio tower, and my rival wants to battle now. The guide says how I should be able to defeat my rival without very much thought.
Okay, Golbat, Magnemite, Haunter, Sneasel, Meganium, Typhlosion, or Feraligatr. He has Quilava, so it's gonna be Fire type. That should be easy against the Magnemite and the Sneasel. Ooh, he has a Sneasel, guys. Sneasel. You have a Graveler, which should be good against the Golbat and the Magnemite and the Haunter and the Sneasel. Okay, so Graveler almost solos this team up until the Feraligatr comes out. Interesting.
And since my team matches up so well, since I have such good type diversity,
You mean your team as in Graveler? Your Graveler matches up so well against
I
you.
beat him with no problem. I then rescue the real director,
Two shakes of a
get the
lamb's
card
tail,
key
guys.
from him, and then get access to the rest of the radio tower and clear out the remaining Team Rocket executives. I try and level up Quilava at this time as well, since it's actually my lowest level Pokemon as of right now. It even
Not
got past
good.
my Eric the Eevee because of the EXP share being so good, but I end up using Fiona for most of this since, again, she matches up so nicely against Team Rocket's Grimers, Zubats, and Coughings, hitting them all super effective.
Exactly.
I clear out the rest of Team Rocket, and before leaving Goldenrod, I head into the underground once again since it was Tuesday when I was recording this part, and I was able to give Eevee a haircut to help it evolve into either Espeon or
That's one of the people who increases your friendship. There's also the massage lady. I think the haircut or the massage has like 2 people who do things. One of them gives less. I think it's the little sister or whatever, and then like the bigger sister gives more affection.
Umbreon. Since I got the Silver Wing from saving the Director in Goldenrod, I'm also able to go and catch Lugia in the Whirl Islands if I want to now. I deep
Go.
Whirlpool to Gyarados to get access to it quicker, and I end up going through the
Spearow's still level 10. You know what? If I do a Team Rocket playthrough, and I might, because I like doing Team Rocket playthroughs and like mono type playthroughs and stuff like that, or theme playthroughs, I might do a Team Rocket playthrough where I only use Team Rocket Pokemon and steal the Spearow.
cave and find Lugia's room very quickly thanks to the
Although the Spearow is a free catch in a Nuzlocke, because like you're just, that's a completely different area. It's just its own little building.
map in the guide. I
Ooh, entrant. Oh yeah, this is gonna be. I might bring up the map to go through here. Although I imagine there's items. Hold on. Okay, max revives. Just sell that in a Nuzlocke. If you're not in a Nuzlocke, save that for the Elite Four. Okay, I'm looking for like a Pokemon list of who's in here because I do not remember. I know there's a guy. No, this is Swirl Islands. Never mind. This is not the cave. This is not the cave you're looking for. Yeah, it's been so long since I've been in here because I just like skip the Whirl Islands whenever I play through the game because there's nothing in there I want and I don't care about Lugia.
thought I had already gotten the map
Like I like Lugia, but I don't use legendaries in my playthroughs because I don't like legendaries. I think they ruin the game. You should get them after the Elite Four, not before the Elite Four.
Festival at this point. I could have sworn that Lance gave it to me, but apparently I don't have it yet, and I don't end up realizing this until after I started the Lugia battle. I also didn't have that many other Pokeballs on me.
Also, I catch my legendaries in Pokeballs just to show them who's boss. I don't use the Master Ball. It just stays in my bag.
So I Thunderwave the Lugia with my recently evolved Ampharos,
Unless I ran into a shiny that was really important, I'd probably use it on that. That's about it.
then chip away at its health, and start chucking whatever Pokeballs that I have. I ended up getting insanely lucky. I ended up catching Lugia with a regular Pokeball, which is fantastic, and I named the Lugia
That's good. Let it know you're in charge with a Pokeball.
Skippy. I immediately added to the team over
Skippy.
Kenya as my flyer, and with this
You replaced a level 10 Pidgey with 7 badges with a Lugia?
also means that we finally have the 4 recommended Pokemon that the Nintendo of America testers use while playing through Gold and Silver, being Graveler, our starter which is now a Kulava, Ampharos, and finally Lugia. Now we have to head into the Ice Path, which leads us to Blackthorn City, home of the
Jinx. Grab a Jinx while you're in here. Just FYI. It'll be really helpful in the upcoming gym, and frankly, it's just a glass cannon, man. It's so hard, and it's so fast.
Region. I noticed that this part mentions the sealed section again, so I check it out on the back and open it up to see a more detailed explanation of how to get through the Ice Path.
Oh, it even tells you how to get through the little thingies. I mean, they're pretty easy if you played this enough, but you should be conditioned by Pokemon to know how to do this.
Which was very helpful since I did get stuck on the first puzzle. It also suggests I catch a Jinx around here for the Claire fight since Ice is good against her Dragon-type Pokemon team, but I didn't feel like leveling up another Pokemon, and I already taught Icy Wind to Lugia, so I thought that would be good enough. Now that we're in Blackthorn, all that we really have to do here that's important is challenge Claire and get the Raging Badge, the final badge in Johto. Well, actually it's called the Rising Badge, not the Raging Badge, but the guide mistakenly
I would have preferred Raging Badge, maybe. I don't know about Rising Badge. That doesn't sound interesting or fun.
calls this badge by the wrong name. I'm able to hammer away at Claire pretty easily thanks to Icy Winds from my Lugia, although I do get paralyzed, which is annoying. I eventually get her ace Pokemon, Kingdra, and decide to shuffle in my other Pokemon against it in order to chip away as much damage as I can and give Lugia an easier
Okay,
fight to
yeah.
KO.
Ampharos is a great decision for Kingdra. Jinx would not have been very helpful with this. It could still do some damage, especially if you like put it to sleep first with Lovely Kiss. But yeah, Ampharos is the best choice.
Since Lugia got paralyzed quite a few times in this fight, I actually ran out of ways to heal it. Luckily, I'm able to land in an Aero Blast and defeat Claire
Well, yeah, it's like flying Psychic is not particularly helpful against a Water Dragon.
and her Kingdra, and quickly collect the Dragon Fang from the Dragon's Den behind her gym in order to get the 8th gym badge. Claire tells me how I now have to head east of New Bartown to get into the Elite Four and head towards Kanto, and Professor Elm
If you're playing Heart Gold, Soul Silver, there's a guy who gives you a quiz. You answer that right, he tells her to give him the badge, and then you go back in there afterwards and get a Dratini. Free Dratini. Don't use it. It's not good. Unless you're planning on getting it to Dragonite at level 50 before the Elite Four, then go ahead and use it. But otherwise, if you're going to try to just use a Dragonair, it's not amazing.
also calls me to tell me that he has something for me, which ends up being the Master Ball. There really isn't anything I want to use the Master Ball on at this point since I already got my Lugia, but it's good to have, I guess. I'm making through the next couple of routes pretty easily and into Victory Road, and collect the TM for Earthquake like the guide suggests. This will be great for Fiona, and
Oh yeah, get the Earthquake. Get Earthquake. It is so impactful. It hits really hard. Great accuracy. It's great against a lot of types that are frequently used. Earthquake is always a go-to.
And now we have the final rival battle before the Elite Four. The guide mentions how he has a Kadabra and how strong it is, just like how the Fire Red guy kept on saying how strong my rival's Kadabra was.
Now, let's see, Sneasel. Oh yeah, he can just keep using Graveler. Kadabra and Feraligatr, a bit of a problem for Graveler though, but everything else, the other 4. Kadabra, what does he have that's good against Kadabra? He's using Lugia, which would resist the Psychic at least. And probably hit it hard enough because it's pretty frail. Yeah, and you got Ampharos for Feraligatr. So yeah, it's not too big a problem.
But luckily I have Eric the Eevee with Fight to help out against the Kadabra. Somehow this Eevee still hasn't evolved despite being my second highest level
How,
Pokemon
man?
as of right. I'm not sure if the EXP share affects it in any way, but I thought that leveling it up would at least boost its happiness. I'm able to get through the rest of his team pretty easily, then I stock up on some items, teach my Pokemon a few TMs, and head into the Elite Four. The guide tells me how the trainers here have Pokemon in the mid to late 40s for the most part.
Okay, are these ones they're suggesting you to use, or ones that are in there that they're using in the league?
Which is much higher than my team, as you can see from this image.
Yeah, but that's Victory Road. That's just use that. Fight random stuff down there.
It also says how a well-balanced team of Pokemon that are in their 30s, 40s, and a couple in the 50s should be good here, and even though I don't have anything close,
I always go into the Elite Four with minimum level 50, just in case. But honestly, some Elite Fours are better than others. Like, what was it? Black and White. I soloed the entire Elite Four with a Stoutland. I didn't mean to. I just brought him out because he had like Crunch, Fire Fang, Thunder Fang, and I think Ice Fang or Return. I probably did Ice Fang. I don't remember what set I gave him for sure. I just remember that I was going to start with him, probably against the Ghost, or was it? What was the Elite Four? I don't remember. It was so forgettable because I used Stoutland. But like I used Stoutland on the first one, and I just kept wiping the team. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll bring you out against everyone else. And then he just kept killing everyone. And I never even got to use any of my other Pokemon.
Level 50 as of yet, I still think I'll be okay. The guide even lists some recommended Pokemon for the Elite Four, which include Typhlosion, Lugia...
Oh, they recommend you... Oh, what? You didn't get Ho-Oh? That would have come in handy. Although you have a Fire starter, and although it's Fire Legendary, you wouldn't need your starter at that point. Let's see, Lapras, always good, very good. Also Perish Song, in case you get into some trouble. Magneton, good choice, good choice. Graveler, he has Graveler. Jinx, I would have brought a Jinx. I would absolutely, I don't even care if I already have a Slowbro or a Slowking. I don't care if I have a Psychic. I will put a Jinx on that team too. Does not matter. Umbreon, like I said, Umbreon. Espeon's a good Psychic, but there's enough Psychic types. Umbreon, there's a lot less to choose from Dark type. I can't even think of any Dark types you can get, because you can't get Sneasel. I don't know how your rival managed to get a Sneasel, but you can't get Sneasel until after. In God, that mountain that you fight Red in that area, you have to get Sneasel there. Also, Mischievous. Why did they hide so many Gen 2 Pokemon behind already beating the Gen 2? I don't... So stupid. But yeah, all good. I like how they have the 2 starters and they don't have Meganium up here as one of the recommended.
And Graveler, all of which are on my team. I go in and get completely destroyed by Will, with his Pokemon one-shotting some of my team members even. I realized pretty quickly that I won't be able to win this battle, let alone win the rest of the Elite Four battle.
Okay, well, I don't know why I did that much damage. You're only 4 levels below. I probably shouldn't have done that.
So when I lose, I head into the Victory Road to train a little bit.
There you go.
Gyarados.
Level 50 minimum. Go in there at level 50 minimum. You shouldn't have that many problems, especially if you have the right types. Eevee, I don't know why your Eevee still hasn't evolved. I don't know what you're doing. Probably because of all the fainting you're doing. You cannot let it faint or it's going to lose friendship. You can't let it run around sick or paralyzed or asleep, or you're going to lose friendship. You have to heal that thing immediately.
Mostly, since a lot of the Pokemon here are ground types and can get one-shotted by it pretty easily, and I gave the EXP share to my other Pokemon to help out leveling up. I grind for quite a while.
Oh yeah, Icy Wind. Yeah, why didn't you just do that?
Being my highest now, and head back in. The guide says how Will is going to lead with his Xatu, so I lead with
Why did it fade into a completely different Pokemon? Did Lugia not do the job?
Luke take it out with a Thunder Punch pretty easily. All of Will's Pokemon are dual types, so I...
Okay, Xatu, yep. Jinx, yep. See, if you had the Umbreon at this point, you'd have no problem with this. That's why I said go Umbreon. It's the best competitively for getting through the game. Also, yeah, weak to fire and electric, weak to fire and electric, weak to fire and electric, weak to fire. Slowbro, electric. Yeah, a fire and electric would breeze through all of these. Yeah.
have something that's super...
Like, you could bring an electric for everyone except Exeggutor and Jinx, who you just throw fire at. No problem.
effective against all of his Pokemon, to take him down pretty easily with none of my Pokemon fainting this time. Next up we have Koga, and the guide recommends I use Fire type.
I feel like he's not understanding the type differences so well. That seems like the main problem here.
Since his team has a lot of fire weaknesses. Typhlosion, which evolved while I was grinding, takes care of most of his team pretty
finally.
easily, with Fiona clearing out his Muck and Crobat with an Earthquake and a Rock Throw. No one fainted this time either, but my team does get a little bit banged up, so I do have to heal quite a bit. Now,
well, yeah, it's Elite Four. You got to. They're called Elite
Bruno is a lot like taking on these...
Like taking on the Sandwood City Gym at once. I don't know about that. I feel like he's a little bit better than the entire gym. Because of the damage the opposing Pokemon can inflict, you'll want to match strengths and weaknesses defensively. In other words, don't put Jinx on the front line and to take care of him. The frick you talking about? Jinx wipes this entire team. He's so much faster than anyone on the team. Just throw Psychics at everyone. Why is high jump kick? Oh, I thought it was a capital I. It looked weird because it was so much taller than the H. Jump kick will wipe her out. No, because you're going to Psychic it before it can high jump kick. It won't be able to do anything. Does it? Okay, the person who made this clearly does not use Jinx. As someone who's been using Jinx since Gen 1, I can tell you exactly how to get Jinx in Gen 1, by the way. You wait until you get a Poliwhirl, evolve it into a Poliwag, and then trade it to the guy in the town Misty's in, Cerulean? Yeah. You trade it to that guy, you get a Jinx. You know who's not a problem after that? Lance. Lance and his dragons.
Cianwood City Gym again. This concerns me since the Cianwood Gym was the gym that gave me the most trouble out of all of the battles in the game so far, but at least now I have Lugia, which should help a lot in this fight. It's Psychic and Flying type, which are the two recommended types, and it tanks out most of Bruno's fighting type Pokemon pretty easily, while Gyarados takes care of the Onix, and Lugia does end up falling to a Rock Slide from his Machamp, but luckily Ampharos comes in to give us the win. Karen is up next, the 4th member of the Elite Four. The guide recommends I use fighting
Total Karen, guys. Total Karen.
and Psychic types, and although I do technically have a Psychic type in Lugia, I have no Psychic or Fighting type moves to use against her. I decided to leave
You have a... Does Lugia not have a Psychic move? It's a Psychic Pokemon, right? Why does your Lugia not have a Psychic move? You know who else has a Psychic move? Jinx. Just saying.
with Fiona against her Umbreon anyway, since I figure that Fiona's my strongest Pokemon right now, and a few Earthquakes take the Umbreon down pretty easily. Typhlosion takes care of the Vileplume, then Fiona comes back in for the Gengar and Houndoom.
Watching things on
Houndoom nearly
my
kills
main
Fiona
account that has YouTube Premium, or I get YouTube Premium on this instead.
with a Crunch, but luckily I one-shot it with an Earthquake. Now all that's left is Karen's Murkrow, which I use my Electric-type Ampharos on like the guide suggests. I heal my team up, and now it's time for the big one, Champion Lance. All of his
Yeah, Murkrow's not that strong, though. That shouldn't be a problem. Champion Lance has a Gyarados, Electric type. He has a Dragonite, Ice, which I guess he doesn't freaking have an Ice type for some reason. I mean, if you know that there's that... Well, he's following the guide. Guide didn't tell him to get an Ice type. I'll give him that. I will give him that one. But if you're going through a game, grab an Ice type, because dragons are eventually going to be a problem.
Pokemon are flying types, so I can't Earthquake them with Fiona.
Gyarados, you have your Ampharos. Dragonite, you have nothing. I guess you're going to have to use Lugia with Icy Wind. Dragonite, Ampharos, or Lugia with Icy Wind. Aerodactyl, you have Gyarados. Charizard, you have Gyarados. Also Graveler, quad weak to rock. Never mind, use that. Dragonite, probably Lugia
Like
again.
I've been relying on so much lately, so I lead with Floof and one-shot his lead Gyarados.
Of course.
It does outspeed
Of
me
course.
with a Hyper Beam though, something that all of Lance's Pokemon have. It's a very strong move, but luckily makes you take a turn to recharge and do nothing, which we can take advantage of. For Lance's first Dragonite, I rely on Icy Winds from Skippy and luckily dodge a Thunder Wave to knock it out without taking any damage.
That's pretty good if you two-shot it with Icy Wind, considering it's not an Ice type and Icy Wind's kind of weak.
Same strategy for the second Dragonite, but this time it lands the Thunder Wave and hits me with a Blizzard. I'm able to break through and knock out the second
That's
Dragonite
unfortunate.
anyway, but I switch to my Gyarados on his Aerodactyl. It does a lot of damage to Gyarados with its Rock Slide, and my Surf doesn't even knock it out. Gyarados ends up falling to Aerodactyl, so I send out Eric since I have yet to use him in the Elite Four yet and figured he could get a knockout
Okay.
out of Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl goes for Hyper Beam though, and
Way to go, Eevee. Good job, Eric. That's our boy. That's our boy,
Eevee
Eric.
lives and knocks it out with 2 bites while the Aerodactyl has to recharge.
I didn't think it was going to do that much damage, but I guess he's 46.
Charizard comes in next, so I switch to Fiona, take a ton
Correct
of damage
choice.
from Flamethrower, then miss on a KO with Rock Throw. I send out
Oof.
Typhlosion to finish it off after my Graveler falls, and all that's left now is Lance's third and final Dragonite. I use a full restore on my paralyzed Lugia since I know I'll need it
Good
to
call,
win, and
good
once
call.
Typhlosion falls, I hammer away at Lance's Dragonite with Lugia and finally knock it out. And with that, we have become the champion and beat Pokemon Silver as Nintendo intended.
Let's go. That's Papa. That's PaPaSea.
Well, sort of. Some people got mad in the comments of my last few videos like this, saying that this isn't the official Nintendo Power Guide, so it isn't the same, but the licensed third-party guides are usually funnier, which is why I like them. All around, I think this was a pretty good guide. It was rushed, as it was missing images for some of the new Pokemon, but outside of that, there really weren't too many mistakes, and did a good job at telling me how...
But is he going to fight Red? I can see from the rest of this video, he's probably not going to go through Kanto. Maybe he'll skip to Red. I don't know. You don't have to fight Red if you're doing like a challenge video or a Nuzlocke. A lot of Nuzlockers will tell you it ends at Red. Red is the final destination of every Nuzlocke, but it's not that big deal.
to get through the game,
You're the champion of Johto. That's good enough.
as well as what Pokemon to use at what points. I do have a couple of other guides that are the official Nintendo Power Guides though, so be on the lookout for videos about those guides. I'm also
Are we going to go through this again? Official Nintendo?
doing videos like this for other games that I played a lot as a kid, like maybe some Zelda games or possibly Sonic games. This style of video doesn't seem like it'll work well with most types of games, unfortunately, but I do think it works really well for Pokemon. I also want to give a huge shout out again to Mystery Orr for inspiring this
Mystery
video with
Orr.
videos, and I also want to thank each and every one of you for watching my videos and supporting me. If you made it this far in the video and enjoyed it, consider leaving a like as it helps a
Yeah,
ton.
do not expect any legendaries in my playthroughs. I will catch them, because it's been a long time since I've actually caught the legendaries in the games, and I feel like that's an integral part of the experience. You know, the fear of I have to fight this thing. I usually just like skip over them unless they force me to catch them, in which case I don't. I usually just knock them out because I'm not going to use them. But I will catch them when I play through all the series.
And subscribe for more videos. As I'm making this video, we are very
And I'm
close
gonna
to
use
50,000
Pokeballs.
subscribers, which is crazy since not too long ago
So they
I
know
just
who's
hit
boss.
20,000. Be sure to also let me know in the comments down below what other games, Pokemon
Way to
games,
go,
or not
Typhlosion.
Pokemon games you want to see me make videos like this on next. And with all that being said, I just want to thank you guys all
Way to carry the team, Graveler. Good job,
for
Fiona.
watching. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. I'll see you all next time, and bye-bye.
Bye. All right, everybody. That was PaPaSea. He does a great series on following the guides. We are going to watch the rest of them, not today. We have other things to watch. Trying to vary it up, but next Sunday we will absolutely watch one. And if I decide I want to take a day off of gaming and do some more reactions, we'll absolutely watch another one. So give him a like, give him a sub if you want to check it out. Go ahead and watch the rest of his videos. It'd be great. You can go watch this one, give it some love. I mean, he has 870K views. Doesn't really need it, but you know what? We show the original people love. That's what's important. We are a supportive community here. All right, catch you guys later. Stay safe, stay awesome. Check me out on twitch.tv/mplaythejolly. Every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, we're doing reactions, and we game almost every other day. Mwah! Love you.